YouTubers 669 here, got another vinyl update video for you. This time I have tons of records to show, so let's get started. This first one is something my mother got from me when she was in Russia, and that is Tchaikovsky. I don't have any classic albums in my collection, so this is pretty sweet. It's all in Russian, as you can see. Pretty sweet, and it's a concept album about all of the months of the year, so it starts with January and then ends with December. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. This is printed actually in 1980, so it's fairly old. It comes on regular black vinyl. Quite used, but I don't mind. It's still awesome. So let's continue with someone, or a duo that I actually saw live not too long ago. I think it was 2 weeks ago, and that is Justice. And these guys were amazing live. If you can catch their current European tour, I definitely recommend checking it out. Even people I've met that don't like their music still say that they are awesome live. So, yeah. This is of course Cross, which came out in 2007, and it's my preferred album out of their two albums. The latest one was pretty good, but I don't know, I still feel that this one's better. A lot of people didn't like the first album, the second album, but I don't know, I still enjoyed it for what it was. I didn't hate it like a lot of people did, but yeah, I still prefer Cross, like many people do. Yeah, this is a gatefold, and comes on regular black vinyl. Goes with these sleeves. Pretty special, pretty sweet. And next we've got an album that I consider being a classic. There's not really too much to say, I guess, about it. It's Iggy The Stooges Raw Power. It's great. This is the regular mix, I guess. There's been a lot of different mixes on this album. It's pretty much known for how bad its mixing is. I think this is the original Bowie mix. Not too sure about it actually, but yeah, it's the original issue from 1973. Of course, there's a reissue, but the original mix from 1973. It comes on this kind of cool sleeve, and there's Columbia Records. Yeah, it's awesome. It's raw power. Not much else to say. Next we got this is a Doom outfit from Canada, and they're called Blood Ceremony. These guys are awesome. They recently came out with an album, someone recently came out with an album called Living to Ancients. This is the first original album, self-titled, and I actually prefer this one to Living to Ancients. A lot of people like Living with the Ancients, but I prefer this one. I actually heard this one before Living to Ancients came out. I actually had no idea they were making another album. I thought they were kind of like gone. But this is a reissue. I think the original got out of print, but yeah. It's pretty sweet. It's a gatefold, as you can see. I think that this is exactly the same as the regular print was. So, and this comes on white vinyl, which is badass. Really like that. Yeah. You don't really come across a lot of white vinyls these days, at least I don't, but this is the latest album I actually got, which took a while to get from the States. That is Goblin by Tyler, the Creator. Yeah, this is actually my first hip-hop purchase when it comes to vinyl, and this album has gotten some flack, but I still think it's cool. I guess it's kind of a mixed bag. The production on this, the beats are not too great, but it's still a good album, and it's still worth having on vinyl, in my opinion. Tyler's definitely gotten better with the production, as you can see on the latest release, Rella, which is pretty good in terms of beats, really well done. So yeah, kind of feel a bit papery, cheap. Here's the inside. Pretty sweet. A lot of pictures, actually, which is cool. Here's the back. Got a young picture of Tyler there. And like every sleeve has a picture. This of course comes on regular black vinyl. And let me show you the other record. Side B, side C and D. Pictures. Really sweet, I like it. Definitely worth having. Actually, never expected that Time would release something on vinyl, but it's sweet. The next band, or the next two records, actually both come from Relapse, and both limited edition vinyl releases. This band I found at random, and I'm actually really glad I did, because this band is awesome. Like really awesome. If you know me, I really like Electric Wizard, and this is kind of in the same vein as that. This band is called Cough. Fairly unknown band, I'd say. And the album's called Ritual Views. This is the only album they have released so far, at least the only full length. It's Gatefold. This band is incredibly heavy. Incredibly slow. They mix kind of like these raspy black metal vocals almost with kind of like Ozzy Osbourne, early Black Sabbath, Ozzy Osbourne-ish vocals. And these two vocalists, it's the bassist and the guitarist, and it just really flows together well. And if you put this on max bass, it sounds absolutely amazing. Definitely worth checking out, especially if you like doom metal, like Wizard. You have to give this band a listen. And this comes on marble yellow vinyl. I don't know if you can actually see the marble for it. It's pretty sweet. I'm actually not a big fan of the marble vinyls. Prefer like have them in full color, just one color. I think it looks better. I guess, you know, to each his own and all that. This band is like, it's fairly unknown. It's really nice that they Relapse gave them a vinyl release. Really good stuff. Check it out. And next we got a band also on Relapse, as I mentioned earlier, and that is Red Fang, Murdered Mountains. I actually found out about this band on Cover Kill Nation. He's here on YouTube, and these guys play kind of sludge / southern rock, and they do it really well. They're also on Relapse, and you know, another great band from Relapse. I really feel like Relapse, you know, they really find these bands that, you know, have a unique sound, and they really are good at finding interesting bands. And here, as it looks, it's the whole here. See the full picture. Really cool album cover. Here's the back. This comes in brown marble vinyl. Good stuff. If you like sludge, you know, bands like Mastodon, Cadescent, Baroness, you know, as well as like southern rock, check it out. I actually enjoyed the more soft tracks on this album, you know, like Wires, Hank is Dead, The Undertow, more than the heavy tracks like Dirt Wizard and Fraud and all that. Yeah, and the Coffee was otherwise. I actually enjoyed the heavy tracks much more than the softer tracks. But hey, it's definitely two albums to check out from Relapse. Next we got probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite, electronic band or artist duo of all time. That is Crystal Castles. I love these guys, and this is the first self-titled. Released two self-titled full lengths, and this is the first one. I consider it being the better one. Still both worth checking out. Here's the cover, and here's the back. This comes on 2 LPs, both regular black vinyl. Really great album. If you like electronic music, this is definitely a band checking out. They have some progressive elements. and they use vocals well, and at some points his album, like especially Untrusted, kind of reminds me of The Knife a bit, but definitely have their own specific style, playing really specific sound. Definitely worth checking out. Great album. This next one is something my friend Liam sent me, and that is The Doors, the one and only Doors. Classic, basically. I actually link his channel down below. He also makes fun videos, so check him out. And here it is. Record slipping away there. Electro Records. Yeah, this comes on regular black vinyl. Good stuff. Yeah, this is not really much to say about this album. This is classic, pretty much. This was Iggy The Stooges. This is a classic album. If you haven't heard of The Doors, well, you check them out. Basically a classic rock band. Definitely something worth listening to. I'm a big fan of classic rock, and sometimes I just listen to classic rock for like 3 months at a time. Sometimes I never listen to it, but Doors, they're awesome. And we got another really heavy vinyl here, and this is The Hazards of Love by the Decemberists. Love this album. This is also a concept album. This is a rock opera. This is what it is. Amazing stuff. I love this record, this album, I mean. And yeah, really heavy vinyl as well. Really thick ass heavy vinyl. Comes in regular black vinyl, and this whole album is like a story, like about love, pretty much. It's just great. I think this is December's greatest work, in my opinion. This is why I really started listening to the band in the first place, because of this album. If you haven't heard Decemberists, this is, I don't know, a good starting point in my opinion. Definitely a great album. Listen to it. This is more of a case of you have to listen through the whole album together because it flows together. You know, if you just listen to 1 or 2 songs, you won't really get the full experience. I recommend listening to the whole album if you can spare time. Here we got another classic album from the 90s, and I'm a big fan of 90s music. Bands like grunge, basically. Bands like Pearl Jam, bands like Smashing Pumpkins, Nirvana, and stuff like that. And of course, all those bands you have to have Soundgarden. This is Badmotorfinger. Classic stuff. I actually just recently got into Soundgarden. A lot of music like Pearl Jam and Nirvana I listened to when I was younger. When we used to watch MTV as a kid, that's what I listened to. But I never really got into Soundgarden much, except Black Hole Sun. That's the only song I heard. But this album is actually awesome. Awesome, because I read black vinyl. Yeah, I guess this is also kind of a classic, I suppose. Definitely worth having if you like 90s grunge, 90s rock and all that stuff. And last but not least, we got one of my favorite bands of all time. And I earlier purchased a 7-inch by them. This is their full-length album. That is Kellermensch. These guys play sort of post-punk mixed with bluesy, kind of Neil Youngish rock and with metal influences. Definitely a unique sound. If I got into this band randomly, my friend just said, "Hey, this band is awesome. Check it out." And I'm definitely thankful for that, because now they're one of my favorite bands of all time. And I love this album. I love this album to death. Unfortunately, this is not the original album, because they put in some songs from the Narcissus EP and actually removed some tracks from the original album, which kind of disappoints me. You know, if you're gonna re-release your album, it should be your album. It shouldn't be like other songs once from the album. But you know, in any case, this is a great album. Comes regular black vinyl. It feels like I'm kind of hammering on about this, but another thing that kind of pisses me off a bit, the lyrics. Some of them are gone. That kind of bugs me, because I really want the lyrics, to read some of the lyrics, especially to Nothing Left. I really like that song, and it's not on here for some reason. And you know, you say like, oh, I can find them online. No, you can't. You can't find these lyrics online. And kind of like, buy this record, like, here's lyrics, but not all of them. I don't know what that's all about, but yeah. In any case, oh here, okay, it's a picture as well. So the two vocalists of the band, vocalists, guitar player here, and the vocalist and piano player here. One of the members of the band as well. In any case, this is definitely a band worth listening to, even though I don't know what the deal is with the releases, but yeah, definitely check these guys out if anything I mentioned sounds appealing at all. This is definitely, I think, their best work. I like Narcissism, but I kind of thought that this was more original than that. Narcissism kind of goes in a more rocky direction, while this really has a unique style to it. Really kind of sounds more post-punkish. Definitely worth checking out. A really underappreciated band that I love. And those were all the records I had for you today. Thank you for watching, and comment and subscribe and all that bullshit.